Good evening, Chad Tacey, Covington High School child. I have about 6 general questions and maybe three high school specific questions and 1 request. Would y'all like me to go through them all at once and y'all pick and choose, or would you like to try to go through them individually? Okay. I just have just to be specific, will the Covington School System be performing the COVID-19 test? And if not, if for some reason the governor of Virginia would mandate that, would the Covington School System comply, or would they opt and choose to cancel and go virtual to spare the children from mandatory COVID-19 the swab testing?
Well, we have not been able to confirm what is expected in that relation. Covington High School and Covington City Schools has always done what's best for our students and staff. We would have to take that into consideration when that option is brought to our attention. But it's a good question that we need to be thinking about, Mr. Tacey.
So as of right now, you're not performing these swab tests on the children. Okay. Thank you. Okay. You might have went over this. I might have missed it. What will be the last day, the date for the school year, and how and why was that chosen?
The transition of the schedule started.
You're going to start September 9th. When does school end for the year? Next year?
June 24th.
June 24th?
Yes.
Okay.
Our calendar is online right now.
All right. Thank you.
So they'll require 185 instructional days this year.
185?
185.
Okay.
That was mandated by the state.
Okay. Thank you. Yes. And will there be new discipline actions for students who refuse to, wear masks and proper social distance, the new guidelines? Will there be new actions against students? How will you handle discipline for that?
We haven't fully discussed that. We did just get some legal opinions about the next summer in response to disciplining our students. That's something that's also a fluid situation, and we are currently trying to make that decision for our handbooks and for our families to understand what that might bring. Truancy is something else that will change. We've had concerns over the years about students not attending school, but those kind of things will go away now with this new school year. So things are changing, and we're adopting our policy to those changes.
But they will be in the handbook
Yes,
prior to school. Yes. All right, thank you. Yes, I would just like to maybe have a little bit of specifics on where the money come from to pay for Chromebooks, plexiglass, all these new items. Could y'all be just maybe a little specific where these monies come from?
Yes, sir. Yeah, that's a very good question. We received almost $200,000 in CARES funding. We have not decided how all of that money will be used. It will be used for a lot of our personal protective equipment, the plexiglass. But we have some money, and I'll let Dr. Furman make sure I say this term right, VPSA funds that do cover technology cost, and that is where we found the money to take care of the Chromebooks. The hotspots will come from CARES funding. We purchased some hotspots back when we closed schools down, 20 to 25. We may need more, but that is coming from that a pot of money.
Okay. And regarding the Chromebooks, what would be the student obligations?
There will be no cost to the students who have that Chromebook. There will be a policy that will be signed that asks them to take care of it, and should there be a breakage, there will be an agreement between the parent and the student for the Chromebook, and Dr. Furman has developed a Chromebook policy. But because we're a CEP school division And we offer free lunch and breakfast to all of our students. There will be no charge or any financial responsibility for the families for these Chromebooks.
Okay, no responsibility.
No insurance like some schools charge.
Sure.
Nothing. Unless there is a break, we will have that policy set up before we issue those Chromebooks.
Okay. All right, thank you. And regarding, you spoke of a ventilation contract with the ventilation system. I was just wondering, any specifics on that? Is it a flat rate contract or is it a pay-as-you-go because of the undetermined time period that will be adapting?
Yes, sir. It's a pay-as-you-go contract. He will be coming in and reviewing our system again. He was in the software systems here, and then he knows that we need regular maintenance and upkeep, and so that's going to be a pay-as-you-go, a monthly check for our ventilation HVAC system.
Okay, thank you. Regarding high school specific questions, how are we handling student parking? Are we still allowing students to drive, and are you spacing out parking spaces? How are you handling student parking?
Students will still be able to drive and use their surrounding parking areas to park.
So none of them are blocked off, you're not distancing cars, so when they exit, you're comfortable with it?
Something we'd have to look at
Okay.
if that's the case.
All right. How are you handling lockers? Are the students using lockers? Are they spaced out? Will they be unlocked and cleaned and disinfected while the students aren't here? How are you handling lockers?
I think last year we had about 70 that used lockers, so we probably encouraged not to, but if they needed them, they would be available and we could space those out too. I think we probably have about 500 and about
Right.
plenty of room space.
Yes. I know a lot of kids
Yeah,
don't
it's a whole
even
lot
use them,
easier,
they carry
especially
their books.
one block a day, and I think carrying the book would be an easier practice.
Yep. All right. I believe the PE question was covered by Mr. Baker and everything. Looks like, no regular PE. So I do have a question about driver's ed. How will you handle makeup since driver's ed was canceled this past year, and how will you handle driver's ed this year?
Ms. Steve Johnson, she's working on that.
Our plan to the Virginia Department of Education, which is part of the process tonight, we can move forward with talking about what driver's education will look like. Mr. Dressler is ready to go. We just have to make sure we can maintain the social distancing. Masks will be, face coverings will be required of the driver and those things. So we will be working to make up those things that were not able to be handled in the past spring. I am a little concerned about the size of the car. It's a small car, but Mr. Dressler feels confident that the social distancing with the mask is appropriate. So we're looking to move forward probably middle of August with our driver's education program behind the wheel.
Okay, thank you. And my last request is I would like to petition the school board, city, to help accommodate Curfman Hall, replace the lighting in here, the burnt out lights. I've had my daughter, we went here 5 years, and I've watching them burn out slowly. I believe it is a safety hazard. It's hard on your eyes, and it's just, I believe it should be looked into, especially for monies that are spent for other reasons. I would encourage and ask that you help Covington High School replace the lighting here in Curfman Hall.
I agree with Mr. Jason. Some of the things that we talk about regularly.
Yeah.
You and I went to school together, and we spent a lot of time, in this part of the building. And we did a lot of good stuff with the seating, and we need to make sure that the theater and the arts are well taken care of. So yes, that is on the list. And of course, right now it's hard to prioritize things of that nature, but it is still on there. I can promise you that.